During Karl Dean's 2 terms in office as mayor, Nashville received national recognition as a boomtown, one of the best cities for jobs, and as the IT city. He invested in public education, public safety, new parks and greenways, and many other initiatives that make Nashville the great place it is to live, work, and play. Karl Dean served as the 6th mayor of the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County. He was elected on September 11, 2007, and was re-elected on August 4, 2011. Through his strong leadership, Nashville is now strategically positioned for economic growth in the present and well into the future as a city offering affordability, high quality of life, and a talented workforce. Since leaving office in September 2015, Mayor Dean began teaching at Belmont University as a distinguished visiting professor of history and political science. He also joined Boston University in January as the first initiative on city's mayor in residence. As mayor in residence, Mayor Dean guides the initiative on cities and its mission of bridging the gap between the academic study of cities and the everyday practice of urban governance. He has also joined the ranks of Boston University faculty as a visiting professor in the Department of Political Science with a focus on urban studies. On a personal note, I would like to add that Mayor Dean is the father of MBA alumnus Rasco Dean, class of 2006. Rasco serves on our Young Alumni Board and remains close to the school and his classmates in a myriad of ways. I am grateful for the Dean family and excited to welcome Mayor Dean as our commencement speaker for these 149th exercises. Please join me in welcoming this evening Mayor Karl Dean.
Well, I am grateful for the privilege of sharing this wonderful occasion with you all, and I want to thank Mr. Gioia for the kind invitation to address the graduating class. It is particularly kind because when I was first asked to speak, which was in the fall of last year, I was still the mayor, and I was term limited. And so when my scheduler said they want you to speak in June of 2016, I said, do they know that I'm not going to be the mayor? And she said, yes, they do, and they still want you. And so being nervous about leaving office, that made me feel really good. And then for the last few days when I've been thinking about what I wanted to say, I started thinking Brad's pretty brave to ask me. Because look, I've been out of office for 8 months. And during my 8 years as mayor, I was used to speaking probably between 7 and 12 times a week. And now I've been out of office for 8 months. And I have a lot of things to say. So get comfortable. No, I will be, I understand very well that I am standing between the future graduates and their loved ones who are here to see what you want to see, and it's not me. So I will be to the point. I am not a graduate of this outstanding school, but my family has a long history with MBA. As Brad mentioned, my most significant contact is the fact that my son, Rasco, is an MBA graduate. I am deeply impressed with the quality of the education he received here, the many friends that he made here, and the foundation and confidence it gave him for college and beyond. My wife, Ann Davis, has an even longer relationship with this school. Her father, Rasco Davis, her uncle, Joe Davis, and her brother, Joe, were all students here. MBA influenced their lives significantly and for the better, and I know that you are uniquely prepared to take up the responsibilities and challenges that await you. Let me offer you a bit of advice, as is traditional at graduation ceremonies. My first piece of advice is very simple. Be kind. Treat others with respect and value their dignity as individuals. Realize that there are many, if not most, who have not received the advantages and opportunities that you have. Find time to help the poor, the lost, and the lonely. Follow your dreams and obtain your goals, but slow down enough to treat others fairly and respectfully. This could mean volunteering with organizations that help others, or simply holding the door for another to go first, or reaching out to somebody who feels forgotten. That sounds like real simple advice, but I can tell you from my own experience and my own failings that it is easy to forget and it's easy to rationalize when you fail to act with kindness. Next bit of advice, follow your heart and realize that in doing so, you may end up somewhere either physically or professionally where you did not expect to be. That element of uncertainty, that sense of unknown possibilities is what makes life a great adventure. When I graduated from high school in 1974, I never expected to be the mayor of Nashville. In fact, I did not expect to live in Nashville. Nashville was certainly a city that I heard about, largely because it was the state capital, the home of country music, and Vanderbilt. But Nashville, as far as I knew, was not in my future. I grew up in Gardner, a small industrial city of about 17,000 in north central Massachusetts. It was very far from the more sophisticated world of metropolitan Boston. Gardner was known for furniture manufacturing, and its nickname was Chairtown. In fact, very near to Gardner High School was the world's largest chair. It was a common act of rebellion or boredom for us to climb the chair, to sit or stand on it. And if my memory is accurate, I believe it could hold about 10 to 15 of us. When I left high school in 1974, I assumed I would spend the rest of my life in New England, maybe just standing on a chair. I wanted to see more of the country, so I went to college in New York City and then enrolled at Vanderbilt Law School in 1978. I was still thinking I would end up in New England, but something happened. I met a woman. The woman, Ann Davis, was in my law school class. Ann was and is a whole lot smarter than me. She lived in Nashville, and it's an old story. We fall in love. We spend 2 years having what diplomats would call frank and open discussions about where we would live after law school. I argued for the New England of the Chairtown, and Ann argued for growing, dynamic Nashville. I live in Nashville, which was the first of many failures I've had as an advocate. But it was the best thing that ever happened to me, in addition to marrying Ann. I married a wonderful person, and together we raised 3 beautiful children. Nashville, for the past 30 years, has been a great place to live. It has been welcoming, and it has presented me with many opportunities. The point is, things turn out differently than you expect, and often for the best. Also, keep that in mind when you're meeting people in college, where you're going to end up. The next piece of advice, be tolerant and open to the ideas of others. In a time of extreme partisanship and polarization, we should increase the quality, not the volume, of the debate. Stop, listen, and actually thoughtfully consider the points that people are making. They might be making sense, offering reasonable solutions, or seeking a middle way. Be tolerant of the viewpoint and accept their right to express their opinions. No one, including me and you, has all the answers. Do not assume that one political party, philosophy, or doctrine contains all the truth. Read newspapers every day. Knowing what is happening in business, culture, sports, politics, and around the world will serve you well every day. Do not read just the newspapers and magazines that agree with your views. Seek out contrary views. Again, to put it simply, read the New York Times, but also read the Wall Street Journal. Watch Fox, if that's what your choice is, but also watch MSNBC. Hear other points of views and listen. Tolerance, or broadly openness to diversity, is a virtue of increasing importance, and particularly here in Nashville. When I moved to Nashville in 1978, there were very few ethnic restaurants. Now, over 30 years later, there are every type of food you can think of. There are 146 countries represented in our public schools student population. Thousands of immigrants and refugees from countries all over the world, including a large number from Latin America, Somalia, and Sudan, have made Nashville and Middle Tennessee their home, and we have one of the largest Kurdish populations in the United States. When an immigrant comes to America, that is one of the highest compliments they can ever give us, is when they pick to come to Nashville. Think of it this way. It's like Southwest Airlines. A new arrival in the United States, a new immigrant to our country, is free to move about the country. And when they pick our city as the city where they're going to live their dreams, where they're going to invest all of their hopes, all of their energy, all of their ambitions, and where they're going to raise their children to live the American dream, there's no higher compliment that could be paid to us. It is an incredible compliment, but it's also an opportunity. The most interesting, prosperous cities in the world are cities with diverse and evolving populations. Immigrants make a city strong. They bring culture and new ideas. They strengthen our workforce with young talent. Immigrants are more likely to start a business or be self-employed. They create jobs. They are more likely to be inventors and scientists and engineers, but also service workers who make industries like Nashville's hospitality and tourism industry viable. By moving to our city, immigrants should have the opportunity for success and upward mobility. To quote Jane Jacobs, an urbanist who became well-known in the mid-20th century, a metropolitan economy, if it's working well, is constantly transforming many poor people into middle-class people, many illiterates into skilled people, many greenhorns into competent citizens. Cities don't lure the middle class, they create it. Immigrants enrich our communities and our economy and our way of life. They have brought America everything from AC electric power to Levi jeans to Google and to Intel. Even country music, the foundation of much of Nashville's success, traces its origins to immigrant settlers in the Appalachian Mountains. A decade ago, 2.5% of Nashville's population was foreign-born. Today, it is nearly 12%. Our city needs to remain a welcoming and open city. Nashville needs to be known as a city of opportunity and a city that respects the dignity of individuals, not just immigrants, but people of all walks of life. President Ronald Reagan best described what we need to be. A tall, proud city built on rocks stronger than oceans, windswept, God-blessed, and teeming with people of all kinds, living in harmony and peace, a city with free ports that hummed with commerce and creativity, and this is my favorite part. And if there had to be city walls, the walls had doors, and the doors were open to anyone with the will and the heart to get here. In closing, my advice is first and foremost, be kind, always. Second, follow your heart and be ready for unexpected twists and turns. They will lead you places you never expected to go. Third, be tolerant and open to diversity in ideas, opinions, and fellow human beings. You will be wiser and happier because of it. Tonight, you graduate and you take an enormous step forward. We, your city, your family, your friends, your teachers, your school leaders, are all very, very proud of you. Please accept my congratulations and my sincere wishes for all the best. Thank you.